All right, let's see how sharp you really are. Today, we're testing your knowledge of something that can quietly determine whether an organization stays in control or discovers a serious problem far too late. Oversight failures. 10 questions. No hints. No second chances. I'll give you the statement. You decide, fact or fiction? Some will sound obvious. Some will sound completely wrong. And some are based on exactly the kinds of assumptions that allow oversight failures to happen in the first place. Think fast, trust your instincts, and keep score, because this one gets tricky. Ready? Let's test your knowledge. Question 1. Here's your first statement. An organization can have extensive policies, procedures, and controls in place and still suffer a major oversight failure. The answer is fact. Having controls documented does not automatically mean those controls are effective. Organizations can have impressive policy libraries, detailed procedures, risk registers, committee structures, and reporting frameworks while still experiencing serious oversight failures. Why? Because governance depends on what actually happens, not simply what documentation says should happen. Controls may not be performed consistently, reports may not reach the right decision makers, warning signs may be ignored, responsibilities may be unclear, and management may assume that someone else is monitoring the issue. The important distinction is between having a governance framework and having an effective governance framework. A beautifully documented control that nobody performs is ultimately just documentation. Question 2. Next statement. If an organization has never experienced a major incident, that is strong evidence that its oversight controls are working effectively. The answer is fiction. The absence of incidents does not necessarily prove the presence of effective oversight. Sometimes nothing has gone wrong simply because the organization has been fortunate. Risks may exist without having materialized yet. Weak controls may remain undiscovered for years. Near misses may never have been formally reported, and problems may exist below the threshold at which senior management becomes aware of them. This creates a dangerous governance assumption. Nothing bad has happened, therefore our controls must be working. Effective oversight requires evidence. Testing, monitoring, challenge, documentation, escalation, and continuous evaluation. Good governance should not wait for an incident to prove whether controls actually work. Question 3. Let's continue. Oversight failures are often caused by several small weaknesses occurring together, rather than one dramatic mistake. The answer is fact. Major failures often look obvious when examined afterwards. But before the event, the warning signs may have appeared small and disconnected. One report arrives late, a control exception is accepted, a review is postponed, a responsibility becomes unclear, a recurring issue remains unresolved, a committee assumes management is handling it, management assumes another team is monitoring it. Individually, none of these events may appear catastrophic. Together, however, they can create a chain of weaknesses that eventually allows a serious failure to occur. This is why strong oversight examines patterns, not simply individual incidents. Sometimes, the biggest governance risk is hiding inside a collection of problems that everyone considers too small to worry about. Question 4. Pay attention to this one. The person officially responsible for overseeing a risk must personally perform every control associated with that risk. The answer is fiction. Oversight and execution are not the same thing. A risk owner, manager, committee, or governing body may be accountable for ensuring that appropriate controls exist and operate effectively without personally performing every control. Operational activities can be delegated. Accountability for effective oversight cannot simply disappear because the work has been delegated. The important questions become: who performs the control? Who reviews the results? Who challenges exceptions? Who receives escalation? And who remains accountable when something goes wrong? Confusing execution with accountability can create serious governance gaps. Someone may believe a task was delegated, while everyone else assumes the risk was delegated with it. Question 5. We're halfway there. A company can receive all of its required oversight reports on time and still fail to identify a developing problem. The answer is fact. Receiving information is not the same as understanding it. Imagine management receives every report exactly when expected. Every dashboard is updated. Every committee pack is distributed. Every meeting takes place. On paper, the oversight process appears perfect. But what if the reports measure the wrong indicators? What if important exceptions are buried inside hundreds of pages? What if nobody challenges unusual trends? What if information is technically accurate, but presented too late to support meaningful intervention? Oversight is not merely about reporting information. It is about transforming information into awareness, challenge, decisions, and action. A dashboard nobody questions can create the appearance of control while allowing risk to grow underneath it. Question 6. Let's raise the difficulty. Increasing the amount of governance reporting can sometimes make effective oversight worse rather than better. The answer is fact. More information does not automatically create better oversight. In fact, excessive reporting can create information overload. Imagine a committee receiving hundreds of pages every month. There may be dozens of dashboards, hundreds of metrics, and countless status updates. Somewhere inside those documents could be the one indicator that really matters. But will anyone notice it? Strong oversight requires relevant, timely, and decision-useful information. Not simply more information. Reports should help decision-makers identify exceptions, understand trends, investigate risks, and determine what action is required. Sometimes adding another dashboard does not strengthen governance. Sometimes removing unnecessary information does. Question 7. This one catches people off guard. A consistently green risk dashboard can sometimes be a warning sign rather than reassurance that everything is under control. The answer is fact. A dashboard showing consistently positive results might genuinely indicate excellent performance. But effective oversight should still ask questions. Are the thresholds realistic? Are problems being reported? Are people afraid to escalate bad news? Are metrics being interpreted too generously? Have indicators remained unchanged even though the operating environment has changed? A dashboard that never changes can sometimes deserve more scrutiny, not less. Healthy governance environments allow bad news to travel upward. If every indicator is always green, leaders should understand why. Because sometimes the greatest oversight failure is not failing to solve a problem. It is failing to create an environment where the problem becomes visible. Question 8. Stay focused. Once an oversight issue has been escalated to senior management, the governance process has successfully completed its job. The answer is fiction. Escalation is not resolution. It is only one stage of the process. Once an issue reaches senior management, someone still needs to determine what happened, how serious is it, who owns the remediation, what actions are required, what is the deadline, has the underlying cause been addressed, and how will the organization verify that the issue is genuinely closed. One surprisingly common governance weakness is mistaking awareness for action. Everyone knows about the problem. Everyone has discussed the problem. The problem appears repeatedly in meeting minutes, but nobody actually resolves it. Strong governance closes the loop. Question 9. Almost there. A minor oversight failure that causes no immediate financial loss can sometimes be more important than an incident that costs the organization money. The answer is fact. Financial impact is only one way to measure severity. Imagine a small control failure causes no immediate loss. It might seem insignificant, but what if that failure exposes a systemic weakness affecting hundreds of transactions? What if it demonstrates that nobody is monitoring a critical control? What if the same weakness could produce a much larger incident tomorrow? Meanwhile, a larger financial loss could result from an isolated event that was quickly identified, contained, and corrected. Effective governance therefore looks beyond the immediate consequence. It asks what the incident reveals about the wider control environment. Sometimes the smallest failure provides the biggest warning. Question 10. This is the final question, and it's the one that surprises most people. An oversight system can appear to function exactly as designed and still be fundamentally failing the organization. The answer is fact. This is one of the most important lessons in governance. A process can operate exactly as designed, and the design itself can be inadequate. Reports can arrive on schedule, meetings can happen, controls can be completed, approvals can be documented, escalation procedures can be followed, every box can be checked, and yet the organization may still fail to identify the risks that actually matter. Why? Because compliance with a process does not automatically prove the effectiveness of that process. Perhaps the wrong risks are being measured. Perhaps escalation thresholds are too high. Perhaps oversight responsibilities are fragmented. Perhaps committees receive information without meaningful challenge. Perhaps the environment changed while the governance framework stayed the same. This is why mature governance requires organizations to evaluate not only whether controls were performed, but whether those controls remain appropriate, effective, and capable of achieving their intended purpose. The dangerous question is, did we follow the process? The stronger question is, did the process actually protect the organization? That distinction can separate governance that merely exists from governance that actually works. All right, how did you do? Drop your score in the comments. Be honest. Did the green dashboard question catch you? Or did you make it all the way to 10 out of 10? 8 or more? You're ahead of most people. Less than that? Now you know what others don't. And remember, oversight failures rarely begin with someone announcing that governance has failed. They often begin quietly. A missed warning, an unresolved exception, a report nobody challenges, or a process everyone assumes is working. Hit like, subscribe, and come back for the next My Premium Governance Fact or Fiction Challenge. Because knowing more is how you stay ahead.